Welcome to Mignoy, Mignoy, Mignoy. Welcome to the Chronically Offline podcast. Mignoy, Mignoy, Mignoy.
Mignoy, mignoy, mignoy.
Izzy 4 p.m. Bring Freddos down to 10 p. Welcome to the Chronically Offline podcast. And today we are actually talking politics, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I can't lie, but we're going to do it because Mason wants to deep dive into why I think the way I think, because we both vote Green, but we also have a lot of different takes on things, and our political alignment things will be on the screen somewhere. I know he's going to edit that in, and he wants to ask me some questions, and we're just going to talk about it because we can have a civil discourse without throwing rocks at each other. Boring! Boring!
So, I heard you're for the death penalty.
Yes.
We had a little discussion in the chat that we've got,
Mhm.
little group chat. I just let everyone have their say, and then I waited until the end. I was like, I'm against this, guys.
Mhm.
But the points that you guys shared obviously make sense in your like how you see life. So I just wanted to ask, do you think it's the easy way out or the like or not?
I think it obviously depends on the person. I think it's a hard way out. I'd be absolutely shit scared. And I think when you do hear like the testimonies of like perpetrators that do get the death penalty in their last moment, generally they're shitting
Mm.
themselves. A lot of them. It's like the saying, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. So I'm just for it. I think if you can 100% prove that it is that person, then yes, give him it. Because again, like I've said before, why does someone you shouldn't get the right to life when you've taken someone else's right to life. And before anyone tries to jump down my throat, I am not on about abortion. That's completely different. I'm on about someone obviously who's committed a very serious crime. And you should not get the right to life afterwards. I don't think personally. It's also you taking up resources. I mean, look in the UK, for example, we're overpopulated in the prison system anyway. And we've just let criminals out early, wrong people as well,
Mm.
and they've gone on to commit crimes like the following day they've been released. So
Yeah.
something's not working, and I just think we need harsher penalties. So yeah, why not scare them shitless and be like, you know what, if you commit this crime, you're going to get the death penalty.
Mm. Yeah,
That's
I
just
understand like the logic that you've taken to get there. The way I see it is like when it comes to the eye to the like eye for an eye, I don't feel like that's something that I agree with, mainly because it's like a biblical thing that's like taken hold of society. We've always been taught an eye for an eye when it's straight out of the Bible.
I didn't even know it was straight out of the Bible. For
Yeah,
me, it's more so
yeah,
like
that's what I
karma.
mean.
But
It's the Old Testament. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't agree with it because the person that is doing the execution, spiritually for me, they're completely destroying their own like karma, like spiritual like being. Like um they're just being the same as the other person that they're killing. Like that if you're killing someone, whether or not they've done a crime, like, you're now a murderer. That's why I don't believe in war. It's like
and that's why you're
spiritually,
vegetarian as well.
yeah,
It links
yeah.
so
Spiritually,
I
if you take a
know.
life, um, you're automatically a bad person because you've taken that life from someone, even if they've done something horrendous. But that's like to me, if I had done something that bad, I would I would be scared to live the rest of my life until old age in like 23 hour lockup. I only get to go outside for an hour a day, like no luxuries or anything. Like
Mm.
that's what I think people should get. Not like pets and TVs and Xboxes like that, like some of them do. So I do think it should be stricter. Like that's where we or harsher. That's what
Yeah,
where we agree. But I
because like
think taking the life is easy. Like it's like they're like, well, like if they believe like me, they're just like, well, I'm just going home. Like,
mm. So obviously I can again like you said with me, I can see where you're coming from, and I can see from the roots of like why you believe in what you believe in, and I
mm,
think it's great that you are consistent. Sorry, you're consistent with your stance with that, which I think is absolutely great. Um, Like obviously I'm not veggie, I'm not vegan or anything, so I do view life, I suppose, and stuff a bit differently. That's not to say I don't respect people that are, because it's
yeah,
your life, you do you, mate, don't affect mine. Um, when it comes to like the prison system, like I said before, we're over capacity. I think you know, the money that goes in towards prisons with a lot of stuff could be used for other stuff. Why they're getting luxuries, like you say, like that. Why they're having televisions and stuff. It's a joke.
mm.
Um, well, I know we brought in more
You
so
should get
recently the 20.
newspaper.
Not even that,
It's
mate.
they.
Whack 'em round the head with a newspaper. What do you mean?
Well, you've got to give them some sort of education, so like books, and then newspaper for news. Like no way of like contacting.
Give them a
Um,
thesaurus.
yeah,
So I was gonna say, because obviously, like more so recent years, they brought in the law of the 25 years to life, right? So that's obviously they give you 25 years. That's a life sentence over here. But to me, I just don't think that's long enough. So like, if obviously you're in your 20s and you commit murder and you get 25 years, you could be out and still be alive and be like what, mid 40s, late 40s.
yeah.
Um,
I think if
but
you've committed murder and it's well, it depends on what kind. If it was an accident, then obviously you wouldn't get that sentence. But like, if you're purposefully like wanting to kill someone,
mm,
I don't think there should be anyone getting let out. That's what I mean. Like they should, like you should lose your right to live this life, but not that your life shouldn't be taken. Um, you should be locked
mm,
away for a long time.
mm.
You see what I'm saying?
It's like I agree what they do in China. I think if you're caught doing like despicable crimes to minors, they remove your genitalia. And I'm like, yeah, do that. I'm all for that, absolutely.
Yeah, like someone else in the chat was saying about what is essentially is torture.
Oh,
They
I
didn't
remember
explain
that
it.
now. I remember, yeah, and do you know what? The thing is, that's actually a film. Did you know that? That's actually a film you could watch where,
Oh,
like, in this film, if someone's committed a serious crime, the victim's family choose which like limb to have removed from the criminal till there's like basically nothing left of them.
mm,
Yeah, and it's actually a film that as well. I'll have to find the name of it. Mm.
give that one a pass.
Yeah, mate, it's kind of giving human centipede vibes, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, I was forced to watch that one as well.
Uh, well, I did that with my own free will, but I regret it.
No, no.
Never again.
Going off of like the prison system being so packed, the Green Party are wanting to legalize all drugs or decriminalize or
Mm,
whatever. They're wanting to make it so people aren't getting arrested for just having a joint on them or something.
mm.
Um, do you think that will solve the issue that you were mentioning?
I think if it's just marijuana, then like obviously I think it could help a lot because I think things like that are petty crimes. I think they're unwarranted really. You know, you're really gonna like have someone for having well, they're not even worth like a tenner anymore because it's that expensive, isn't it? Like I'd be like, oh, a 10 deal. Yeah, they've not been a 10 deal since like 2013, mate. I think no, I don't think people should be like sent to prison for just having a bit of stuff on them. Really, I don't think we should legalize all drugs. But weed, yeah, sure. I
Mm.
think so. I think it should be. I do think it should be. What is it? Regulated, though. I do think it should be within regulation.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do think there still should be laws around it of like where you should smoke it. Um, you know, don't smoke it if you're about to go behind the wheel, stuff like
Mm.
that. Don't smoke it before going into like a manual labour job. You know, just common sense things really. That we should just put on the brakes a little bit with, and age restriction. I think this should be 21 and above to smoke weed personally because I think it can. You know, there's obviously some studies out now saying it can affect your brain development if you smoke it too young. Um, yeah, that's my take on it. Really, I'm pretty chill with stuff like that. I'm pretty left leaning with stuff like that. So
What's your thought process when you hear legalizing everything?
I see a slippery slope. I mean, I don't know if you saw in the news recently. It was somewhere in the UK that they'd opened like one of these houses where you can go use safely, basically. And
Mm.
immediately, the day it opened, someone OD'd and died of an overdose outside it.
Outside the building.
Yeah, or around it was in the vicinity, either inside or around it
Mm.
in the like the day. And I'm like, well, clearly someone's not regulating it enough. Like, okay, have a space to use, but there's gonna be missed
Yeah.
opportunities with stuff, and I just think. Whereas I think people should have help, absolutely, but there's a fine line between helping someone and normalizing it and glamorizing it. I think like such as like Coke and like Class A's and stuff have been so glamorized with like young adults these days. Like it's like, oh, well, it's normal to do MCAT. It's what
Mm.
does everyone do now? I don't even know what everyone takes now. Just substances. Do you know what I mean? And they think, oh well, this is hip and this is cool, like it was in the 80s to do. You went to a party and you did coke and
Mm.
yeah. There's lines. There's just fine lines. It's not black and white.
Yeah, I've seen like places in I think Portugal where they've got loads of these clinics where people can go and do their drugs safely, provided with all the equipment and um, help if they want to get off the stuff. So I've seen it work in other countries,
Yeah.
um, and by legalizing all drugs, they don't really mean like you can just go buy them
Mm.
um, off the counter and stuff.
I'll buy from you instead, Mason.
Yeah, buy them off
Mm.
me.
But I just think, yeah, there should be more education. I think it should be once you reach your teen years in high school and stuff. I think it should be more taught in schools about like, look, let's not act stupid. We know you're going to take some substances, you're teenagers, but let's tell you what's the safest way you can do that. Like, I know festivals, they have like certain areas where they'll test your drugs for you, make
Mm.
sure that they're safe, which I think that is a great idea. Because it's inevitable. People are going to take drugs. Sorry.
Yeah, so if that's a great idea, why don't we roll it out around the country in
Well,
clinics?
like I'm not obviously like I'm not strong minded against it. Do you know what I mean? I think
Yeah,
it's just honestly, I think the reason why it would fuck up here is because it's the UK and the UK government. Honestly,
yeah.
I think we're so
So
in
you
debt, obviously, with stuff, and we're underfunded in the NHS as is. How the fuck would we cope with having like drug
that's
centres all
with
across the
the
UK?
yeah, well, that's with the life that we're living now with the government that we've got
Mm.
now. With the Greens, we could have such a different vibe. When the Greens get in, I'm gonna literally cry about it.
Okay, So Mason, in an ideal world, what is the one thing the government should 100% be responsible for, and what is the one thing they should stay out of entirely?
Um, there's not really just one thing. They should be responsible for like shelter,
Mm,
food, water, gas, electricity. It should all be government owned. Like none of it should be privatized. Um, People should be paid to work to make the amount of food that we need and some to like that others need in other countries that buy off of us. Um, but yeah, also the I think they should stay out of subsidizing like meat and dairy
mm,
because that's how they keep it going. Like people are stopping with like eating meat, and people are stopping with the dairy intake as well. And every year they have to get subsidized so the farms don't get shut down for
mm.
these places. 50% of the food that we make in the world goes to animals, and like it can, well, it's obviously like stuff they eat. We could use the farmland for stuff that we eat. So yeah, I think the government should stay out of subsidizing things that should just slowly die out anyway, like they're
Yeah.
going to. The future's vegan. I'm not even vegan, guys. I'm not. I'm not even vegan. But the future's vegan. They say it in every time travel show. Every time they come back, they're like, "Yeah, the future's vegan." Like, why are you eating bodies? So it's not even a controversial take that. It's predicted. But yeah, I think the government should just look after people, and then they should pump money into um, well, main thing for me would be tech. Um, I'm against billionaires, so get rid of the
Mm.
billionaires, but like keep pumping money into tech. Like just keep
Mm.
going. I want a body. Like give me a whole robot body.
You need to play Cyberpunk. Honestly, you would love that shit.
My PC won't run that. My
Oh
PC will
well. Well,
die.
you should. Well, you should watch it then because it's also an animated series as well.
Yeah, well, I could play it on like the lowest settings.
No, you'll
What do you
enjoy it.
think? What do you think about the government?
So how I would answer that, the government 100% should be responsible for providing resources for people in need in our country, especially the lower class, um, people with disabilities and stuff like that. You know, just people that need support and stuff. That should be their responsibility. Um, and also, what's things that they should stay out of people's bodies, in terms of like healthcare, abortion, medical rights, you know, accessing healthcare, accessing like hormone replacements and things like that.
Mm.
That is no one else's fucking business apart from your own. That's your bodily autonomy.
Yeah, they should fund healthcare and everything. However, they shouldn't be in charge of the like of people's bodies.
We should be able to make our own medical decisions at the end of the day. If you're over the age of, especially when it comes to like surgeries, I think if you're over the age of 18, you should be allowed to make your own medical
Mm.
choices like that. Charlie, Charlie, cookie. I just want a brookie. Right, so I mean, this could be such a general question. Well, I'm going to say it's more of a statement from myself. It's more of an opinion. To be abundantly clear, while people are watching, I'm not a capitalist either. To be abundantly clear, but I think people, especially in the West, that say they're communists, comes from a privileged stance because they actually have no idea what it's actually like living in these countries at all. But to even have that privilege to say that, do you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't be able to say
Mm.
that shit if you lived in North Korea. Go on, go on, go to North Korea and see if you could just say, "Ah, yes, I love capitalism."
Yeah. No, I agree. There is some privilege to be able to say that you want a communist country, um,
I
because the
love
communist countries that
capitalism.
tried are now dictatorships. Well, every single one of them's been a dictatorship.
Unless
Um,
you're a North Korean stan. Sorry.
yeah, pretty much. But yeah, my thoughts on it are that communism is like amazing on paper, um, but that's taking away the complexity of people, and
Mm,
there's always going to be someone that wants to be seen by everyone, and they're going to want to take over.
yeah, yeah.
So unfortunately, like in my opinion, communism just can't exist. Um, so I'm very much a socialist,
Mm,
very much a socialist.
yeah. Same, really. Yeah. Socialist. I'm a very much of a realist, I suppose, kind of person. I suppose that's why when it comes to the whole like political stance, I suppose I'm more in the centre because I am a realist. Because unfortunately, the world that we live in, some things are just obsolete, are just not going to happen with the world that we live in. That's not to
Mm.
say it can't happen in the future or whatever. It could, but as of right now, it's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? It's yeah.
Okay,
So
so where do you draw the line between individual freedom and the collective good of society?
that's another one, isn't it? Draw the line. I think honestly, I actually can answer it quite simply. I don't care as long as it doesn't affect my life. You can do what you want with your life, and people can,
Do you
make
think
the
people should,
choices.
sorry, do you think people should own factories?
Oh, depends what factories it is. If it's like, are they making cakey buns for me or not?
Like like any factory, like you're not allowed to own, you shouldn't be able to own the factory. It should be publicly
Yeah, it should be owned by like the council or like a government body. Yeah. Um,
the Chinese music starting to play.
I'm getting my points up here. What are they called?
Yeah, I don't think people should be able to own factories, and I think that's a communist thing to say. Tut tut.
Kipling factory slaps though near us. My mum used to work for it and she'd bring home like
Mm.
90% off on the fucking Kiplings. Oh, banging.
My dad used to work in McCain's, so
Mhm.
we'd get like 10p bags of like massive bags of
Yep.
those cheesy potato like dauphinoise.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, do you
Oh yeah.
believe in cancellation? Do you believe
No,
cancelling
no,
exists?
I think it's a crock of shit. As someone that's experienced all that kind of shit. Get fucked. Because like, I'm not being funny. No one is perfect, right? Obviously, some people have done some absolute horrendous shit. For me, if you've shown that you have changed and you've grown as a person, that is good enough for me.
Yeah,
That is
both
good
of
enough for
us have
me.
had like problematic things like in the past, but we both spent the time to like look inwards and like learn from other people and like
But the thing is, for a lot of them, though, especially online, it's never good enough. You could literally
yeah,
do the absolute most to change. I'll be honest, I think it's virtual signaling. I think people
virtual
try.
sig
No,
virtual
I do. Virtue
virtue.
signaling. Stop. Virtue signaling. I think it's people that like to try and stand on a moral high compass, thinking that they're fucking better than everyone else. And these are a lot of leftists. I'm fucking sorry, I'll
Holier
say it.
than thou.
Holier than thou.
Well,
A
I
lot
only
of them.
think it exists on the left. Like, I don't think cancellation exists on the right. You can't call someone on the right a fascist because they don't care. They're just like, cool. And then you
I'll give
can't
him credit.
cancel them for
I'll
things.
give him credit for that. At least the like the consistent, eh? Do you know what I mean? Eh? I'll give him it for that. But I hate the whole holier than thou. Like I've had like so much shit said to me, and I think I'm like, and if this person watches this and you keep this in, you know what the fuck I'm talking about, and you're not even allowed to see children. You're not allowed to work with children, but you're gonna come for me. Respectfully, my record is clean. Oh, but I've done the. Ooh. But no, that is such a double standard with shit, and I say it, and I say it all the time. This is why I can understand why so many people end up right wing, because you know, let's say you're going, let's say you're a leftist, you're in a group, and you know they find some dirt on you, and you know you're like, oh, I'm going to back away from these people. Then that's when people from like the right wing, extreme far right can then groom people into ideologies, and that's how they end up right wing. But then you'll get people on the left like, well, see, they were right wing all along. Was they, or did they do one
Mm.
thing in their past that you can never forgive them for because you're holier than thou? Get fucked.
Yeah,
Ah, it grinds my gears.
I I've always been left wing, like in my blood. Um, but I've always been really interested in like why people think the way they think. So I went down all the right wing pipelines to see like what they were saying. It's just it doesn't mean anything. It's
Yeah, a lot of
all
it's obsolete. Yeah.
it's all so messed up. Um,
It's so uneducated. A lot of them are genuinely so misinformed.
yeah,
It's,
yeah,
yeah, no,
like
it's mad.
the reform policies are all like literally all but one thing that they say they want to do are just like horrendous for society. The only thing they want to make better is income tax and want to make it 20K instead of 12.5. Great, wonderful, but like you're gonna ruin the entire
Right.
country for just one change.
Literally.
And I think it's
Oh.
just all built on racism and fascism.
Homophobia, transphobia, uh, sexism, because, you know, obviously Farage as well wants to get rid of abortion. That's sort of a one. Um, Bold to assume anyone wants to breed with you, Farage. Count your days. So I'll get them all in comments at me now. I'll be getting death threats now from fucking reform voters.
Good. We'll bring them
No, it's
out.
not.
No, they
Put
can
death
say
threats
they
on
could.
my life, Nathan.
Yeah, just don't post anything online about where you live.
Yeah,
You'll be all right.
that's all right. You, I live somewhere else now, so try and dox me now, bitches.
Do you think society moves too slowly to change for the better, or do you worry that changing things too fast risks breaking what already works?
What works though? I mean, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because I think our country is so unstable at the minute. I think it's all over the fucking place. We lack stability. I feel like with fucking anything.
I
It's
think
hard to
things
say.
change. I think things change really fast. I don't think things change slowly.
Mm.
Um,
Plus, how can you define a time frame either? Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's
mm,
subjective as well.
I mean,
God, I'm smart.
I'm pretty
Me with
sure
big
the
words.
Green in 6 months, if the Green Party get in 6 months, after they're in, things are gonna be beautiful.
Put put the price of Freddos down, please.
Just watching what Zoran Mamdani's done with New York City
Mm.
as mayor, he has changed so much for them. I've seen his YouTube videos where he sat down and talked to people that have traveled like 2.5 hours to come talk to him for a couple minutes, just to say what they're concerned about in New York.
Mm.
And yeah, he spent a whole day listening to them, and then every day he's going about the place, talking to people, and that's exactly what Zach Polanski is like. He's going across social media and in person, like talking to everyone. And anytime someone says to him, "Oh, what about like this surface level thing, or what about this surface level thing?" He's just like, "But that's not what we're talking about." And he goes right back
Mm.
to like his policies and like is the only politician that does that. The
Mm.
rest of them literally just pander to
Mm.
anyone they can. Um, so that's what I like about the Green Party at the moment. Love them.
Mm-hmm. I voted Green last time because at the end of the day, mine was I call it a moral vote because I knew Labour were going to win. Do you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm going to vote morally. So,
Yeah, it was obvious Labour were gonna win. Were gonna win, but I didn't have
mm,
a Green Party candidate on um, my slip that time.
mm,
I don't know why. I will have this time apparently. Um, but yeah, they've upped their game, haven't they? I wanted to buy some
yeah.
merch, but they don't have much. They literally have like picket signs. I don't have a garden, and um, the
Oh, should I get
flags.
one?
Yeah, you should get
There's
one.
loads of Union Jack flags around here, you know.
I wanted to get a green one, but it just means environmental, and like yeah, I am all for the environment. But like I want like a Green Party flag that I can put on my window. They're like 15 quid.
Get
I'm
one for your
broke.
background for your
Oh yeah,
streaming. I'll get a Chronically Offline podcast one
green.
for the year, and you can have a Green Party one. So,
I can have Green Party here, and then on the back I'll have Lara Croft looking all sexy.
whatever floats your boat, mate. I'll have Leon
Look at her.
Kennedy. Very nice.
Let me actually show the podcast my. I'm gonna flip the camera. 3, 2, 1. Camera's flipped. You can now see what this is. Tomb Raider card
I think he likes Tomb
collectible
Raider, guys.
card
I think
game.
he likes Lara Croft, guys.
Yeah, they're from I think 1999. And they're all sealed.
I always feel like Lara Croft when I'm like, I want to climb up a set of stairs, to be honest. Do you know what I mean? Because that's hard work, that. I'm like, oh,
You should watch my speed run of Tomb Raider.
Jesus Christ. You should watch me speed run to the
I
toilet
do it
after
in
I've
an,
had a coffee.
I do it in an hour and 9 minutes.
I love
So
that.
it's not even that slow.
As automation and AI takes over more jobs, should the government provide a universal basic income or should we focus on retraining programs?
Yeah, so I think both. Um, we're always going to need humans. However, there are things that are just unnecessary that we do not need to be doing. And if we had a universal basic income, it wouldn't matter if people weren't doing them because people would have time for their hobbies, their family, all the things that we used to have time for before the
Mm,
40s when they started forcing people to work like 8, 9 hour days. Um, Before it was just like you work when you need to, but then capitalism was just like, yeah, make them work more, make them work.
mm,
They need these things. They need a fridge. Oh, look at this fridge that we just invented. Buy it.
yeah.
I can't
Uh,
remember when fridges came in, like the 50s or something. I can't remember.
mm,
But yeah, AI. I've got a controversial take on it. I'm all for AI, and everyone's gonna get mad, but I mean the
we could
stuff
debate that.
that's the stuff that's helping stuff. And I watch a lot of
Raise
good
my
news.
hand.
I watch a lot of good news stuff on AI, where it's talking about like health and environmental impact that it's doing, like like they're using AI to clear the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, and to heal people of different things. Like China's working on diabetes cure, and there's loads of things that AI is amazing at. But it's when it's generative AI, like generative AI is the devil.
So
Yes,
obviously you
Izzy.
said you're for like AI in that. But yeah, vegetarian, right? And then obviously you
Yeah,
know you care greatly about the environment.
yeah.
What about like how much it uses of like water and stuff, and which is obviously a resource that we should have and that we're low on around the world? What do you think?
Yeah, so that's an issue because the water is privatized.
Hmm.
If we didn't privatize the water, like we could fund it better, and that we would have way more water, like what's the word when you desalinated water, where they take out all the salt from the, like we could
Mm.
use salt water and do that if we had the funding. It's more expensive, but like we just need to fund water production more,
Mm.
because the amount of water that they're using isn't even more than animal agriculture. The amount of water that goes into just beef burger is mental.
Mm.
Um, and people could just change to black beans, and they'll get good protein, way less water. But
I like coffee beans.
but when it comes to AI, like using water, yeah, it's a problem right now because of the infrastructure that we've got. It's definitely not going to be a problem if we fund it better. And also, they're wanting to move away from data centers and move to like AI factories, where like the AI is like just building itself, and people will have their own like server. So it's not like we're gonna have massive data centers with loads of servers. It's all gonna, hopefully, fingers crossed, best case scenario, um, everyone will have their own server and we'll be working in that way. So I think the
Mm.
water consumption isn't a problem, but it's obviously a problem right now.
Technology just scares me, really. I like the future of it and stuff. It scares me a little.
Yeah, I think
Watching them.
AI is really negative in a lot of areas. Education for children should still be like using books. People shouldn't be letting their kids go on ChatGPT and all these other ones. What else is negative? Like generative art.
Mm.
That's obviously taken away from people's businesses. There
Mm.
are cases where it's great for some people where they want a prototype of something, they can just like generate it and then get it um, commissioned or whatever. If someone wants to design a part for a 3D printed thing, they can do it now really easily. Um,
You'll get
but
cancelled. Mason likes AI! Thumbnail.
they
Mason
can come
likes
for me.
AI, cancel him now!
They can all come
Oh,
for me. I've got the facts and I've got the sources.
that's
Ketchup,
it.
mustard, barbecue.
Literally. Pea soup. Pea soup.
But no, like I'm very cautious when it comes to AI. I watch a lot of things on AI going wrong, and the percentage is quite high of things going wrong. So like that,
Yeah.
there are facts in there that people should agree with.
I'm a lot more mindful of myself as well. Like the podcast now, we don't use like any like AI artwork. Like we have Opal that does our artwork, which
Yeah,
we, we have a
but
surprise coming soon. Ooh, ooh.
it was beneficial for a moment though. being able to just have something as a placeholder while we're working on a commission or like or whatever.
The thing is with me as well, you can clock it a lot of times, like a
Yeah,
mile
it's
off as
obvious
well. Um,
because
no,
it's just like,
no.
oh, the rest of your work doesn't look this polished, and you just come out with this like immediate like polished logo.
Mm,
It's just like, yeah, nah, definitely AI.
mm-hmm. The Chronically of Life podcast. One take I do have, you don't have to keep this in, and I've actually spoken to one of our friends about this because I wanted like their take on it because they're non-binary, right? I spoke to Lee about this because I do not understand this, and they're in agreement with me as well. To be fair, it don't make sense to me. So right, when someone tells me they're trans and they say, "Hey, look, I'm a trans man. I take you for a man," right? That's it. To me, it's not that deep. You say you're a man, you're a man. Nice one. We're done, right? What I
Yeah.
do not get is when trans men call themselves lesbian. Like to me, no,
Okay.
because if you were a lesbian, you'd be a woman that is in a relationship with a woman. But you say you're trans and you want me to respect your gender, your pronouns, a lot, right? All right, so yeah, you're a man, right? So if you are dating a woman as a man,
Mm.
you are in a heterosexual relationship. Sorry, I am sorry. That is a regular argument I see on TikTok. It's up to you if you want to keep this on or not, but I don't think it's problematic for me. Like, look, I'm going to take you. Like, look, if it's a trans woman
Mm.
and they date a woman, you are a lesbian because you are a woman.
Yeah,
I
no,
wouldn't be like, oh no,
I
yeah,
completely agree. It's difficult when it comes to um, older generations of people because they like in their 70s, 80s, trans women and trans men that still go by the labels that they were given or they claimed themselves or claimed back themselves. Um,
no, these are younger people that are saying this, Mason.
Yeah,
They're way
yeah,
younger than
the
us.
younger like they shouldn't be saying it, but what I'm saying is there's like
Yeah,
78-year-olds that
yeah,
like trans men that would say that they're lesbian, and I think fair enough because of like what they went through to be able to
yeah.
say what they like how they feel. Um, but growing up as a trans person um in today's world, you're making it harder for yourself if you're
Mhm.
gonna
I just
say
said
that
you've
you're
never
a les
understood it.
if you're gonna say that you're a lesbian and you're a trans man, like you're a man. You can't be a lesbian. But yeah, no, as a cis white man, I obviously have the right to talk about this.
Just shut the fuck up, yeah. They'll get cancelled so quick. Can't give a fuck. They can cancel me. I'm a cis woman. If they want to fucking, it just don't make sense to me. You want me to respect your pronouns and your authenticity of your gender? Yeah, yeah. You're a man then, right? Well then, if you're dating women and you're a man, you're heterosexual, mate, and that is okay. I think honestly, I think maybe it maybe stems from they don't want to be seen as like dirty because they're heteronormative. Do you know, or like heterosexual? Which there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, don't want to be seen as heterosexual.
Yeah, maybe it might be that,
Okay.
because maybe.
Well, that's an idea. Yeah, well, what's stopping someone from using queer?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we have friends that use queer.
Mm. Oh yeah.
Like
Or just
yeah,
say, you could say yeah, pansexual. That's what I do.
yeah, same.
So.
I'm all for these pots and pans. They just do something for me. But yeah, people have questioned me like, oh, how can you be polygamous and like pansexual? And I'm just like, because I don't know. I'm being. I'm
I
just
know. I
existing
mean,
in this world. I'll do whatever anyone wants. That's it for the Chronically Offline podcast today. thank you for watching. Appreciate you being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.